All right, good morning. So I just put up the second quarter of the 1954 Chicago Bears at the 54 Eagles. So I ordered this the end of January, and it got here yesterday. I was able to play a complete game, test play, to learn the rules. So read the rules, played a complete game. The Redskins lost at the Baltimore Colts 24-13 in 1954, my first game ever, on February 3rd. This morning, I was able to play the first half of this. I did a initial video and did the first quarter, and it was just too long. And I said, I think it'd be better just to talk about the game separately. I got to tell you, I had seen, I think, one or two. So I knew that Downey had these full game simulators, but they were most of them all feature fast action cards. And I think I've told my story that the most influential game on me as a child was Status Pro series, and that was football and basketball, which were fast action games, and Pay Dirt and Bowlbound. Status Pro absolutely mesmerized me. The Pay Dirt and Bowlbound games were fun. We played more of those than we did anything because they were portable, they were fast, they were head-to-head games. And Status Pro, of course, was the more in-depth, snap to snap, players involved, etc. And that was those were my only two exposures to sports games as a kid, right? Everything else was typical board games, Risk, Stratego, Monopoly, and war games with a friend, and of course, role-playing, Dungeons and Dragons, 78. Holmes 78 was my introduction to role-playing as a kid. Okay. So the reality is I fell in love with Status Pro. So in 96, when I decided to sit down and make my own game, I wanted something that was that fast, that fluid, and was that, for me, that rhythmic. And so I made sure that the game I invented used a fast action deck, but I just simplified it to a simple solitaire version, simple flip and read. But I have, in the last 10 years, gotten away from fast action games for a number of reasons. One, you've got to have the deck. Two, durability. Three, shuffling. I'm not a good shuffler, and like this with these large cards, shuffling is not. It's not an event that I look forward to, right? But the things that fast action decks do for me are phenomenal. So anyway, I'd seen and I perused his options, but the fast action game just looked brilliant because of the quality of the team charts and the quality of the cards. And I mean the quality of the cards being the data, the random number sequences, and how the game works. So it took me literally 4 quarters, one game, and I got the rules down pat. I got this rhythm down. So anyway, I went ahead and talked about this a little bit in the video this morning, and then played through the first quarter. But it was just, like I said, the video was way too long, and I said, I think it would be better just to play the second quarter and then come back and talk about the game. So again, typical Downey, brilliant. He ships it in a box where it's safe, wrapped in plastic. The cards were wrapped beautifully, and they were in the box in such a way that the cards weren't shifting around, and the package of goodies was secure, fantastic. Again, I love the way he does his rule book, single page. I've talked about this before, and thorough. Holy cow. Well written and thorough with some options. You get a lot of goodies. You get a football field with charts on it. You also just get a football field and little cutout symbols if you don't have those things. Of course, I use my own football field because it's easy and it's quick and I have it, and it doesn't make any difference what football field you use for the game. I also don't need his color charts with a field on it because I'm using my own field, and I used his black and white charts. The penalty system, the rhythm of the game is just phenomenal. The quality, I said before, season ticket football were the best team charts I'd ever seen in my tabletop experience. And again, I've seen a ton of football games. These rival those. They're not color, but they rival the quality of information and depth of accuracy that any game I've seen. I prefer the season ticket. I prefer the way the rules work. I prefer the rhythm of it and the speed of it. There are people who will complain about fast action cards not being random enough. Depending on the probabilities and how these cards are dealt, if you shuffle them thoroughly, you're going to get plenty of random. But more importantly, the way that the sequence in which you draw the numbers, it's plenty random. My complaint about fast action cards is durability. right? I don't know how long these cards are going to last. If I want to play a complete season replay, I have no idea how long these cards will last. So I had ordered a second set in 1964, and hopefully it will be shipped soon. Downey has not shipped it yet. I haven't received a shipping confirmation, but I did order 64 with another set of cards. So hopefully I'll be getting that in a few days. But I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. And I actually ordered that second set before I'd even played, before this had arrived in the mail. I just knew that this was going to be my game of choice, probably for a long time, right? As long as the fast action cards were usable. So let's talk just a little bit about it. So again, I'm going to talk about what makes this special. This is by the game. This game was developed by Phil Riviera, and it is genius. And Phil, I think, is also partially responsible for game-winning drive football, if I remember right. He worked with Rich. I think both of those gentlemen worked together on game-winning drive football, if memory serves. Again, if I'm wrong about that, my apologies. So again, part of what makes this so great is we got defense, run defense, pass defense, which includes passing against your team. So this is the quarterback. This would be the quarterback rating. And then we got, so in other words, how well quarterbacks actually passed against this defense, how well the defense played against the run, how well the defense handled yardage against the pass, goal line run, goal line pass, and then interception, fumble return. So we have everything you need for all of Philly's defense is exampled here. We don't leave Philly's defense unaccounted for in any way, and this is genius. Punting, kicking, field goals, and then we have our player finders for interceptions and sacks, and that's our defensive special teams side of the chart. And then, of course, we have the offensive side of the chart with automated play calling, the fumble loss, and the penalty opportunities with fumble. Again, this game does penalties flawlessly, as far as I'm concerned. There's two games I've experienced, and people will, if you know me, you know that I don't put penalties in the games I design. And you'll note that I leave penalties out of AppAw. I leave penalties out of Stratomatic because they're, in my opinion, it's a pain in the ass. I've played two games in the last month and a half that do penalties beautifully. That is Play Action Football by Clark and Addison Game Company. This does penalties flawlessly, beautifully, seamless, and I love it. And I just love the way the penalties come into play. It just feels like you see the flag, right? The flag would go, but you still got to finish the play. And then come back and find out what the penalty was. It's just brilliant. All right, anyway, we've got play calling tendencies. You can also call your own plays and targets, but of course, I'm going to play this automated. And what I love about this too, even for single play, where if I'm calling the Eagles play on 3rd and 1 for them and picking their hand off to make so it's not a bizarre pass or something, I don't need to worry about calling defense. The cards will dictate whether it goes over to their run defense or not, or to the Chicago run defense. That is huge for me. I don't have to worry about calling a defense. It'll come up as it should. Okay, so you got your carriers and their ability to carry the ball with long gains. You've got your passers, their ability to run. You got your receivers, and then you've got your punt and kick return guys. You've got your penalties and fumbles over here. It's just beautiful, and I mean it when I say this might be for me personally, the smoothest football game yet I have tried ever. But the only dilemma is having to shuffle the damn cards, right? And I know there's going to be a guy who stops watching the video and puts his there'll be the guy who stops now, and his one comment will be, "Fast action football's cool. You can get a flipper for that," and then he'll vanish and not listen to the rest of the video. So that's just the nature of how people do shit, right? They hear something that inspires them to leave a comment. Good luck, have fun, hate cards, whatever. And then you'll get the proverbial, "Hey, there's an auto flipper out there." I don't want an auto flipper. I do not play tabletop games to use a computer or an iPad. I don't do it. If I wanted that, I would just play PC games. I have zero interest of mixing my digital with my tabletop. As far as I want to go digitally, is PDFs that I can print out, or when I write my own games, I need the digital to write the thing so I can make it available to people. I have a real aversion to using computers for my tabletop gaming. So it's a pet peeve of mine. personally. I don't care what anybody else does. It's your hobby. You play the way you want to play. All right, cards are awesome, right? First off, you always check for the penalty or the fumble range. The next flip is always to see what the play call is. Is it run or pass? Third flip is to check who are we looking at. Are we looking at the offense, the defense, or whichever team has momentum? And this is one of the features that I truly love about this. Breaking up just offense, defense is a momentum feature, and we don't know who has momentum when that momentum comes up. So that is just this really nice edge that shows up, right? And then we have our run catch numbers, we have our punt number, we have our field goal place kick number, we have our pass number. This is our quarterback number, how well the quarterback passes, either a defense or quarterback. We have our all returns. Every return of the game uses this number. We have our sack yardage, so when there is a sack, you just flip it and find out how far back. The kickoff number for kickoffs. The long gain number, which is generally multiplied by something or added. So for instance, if Chick Jagade breaks off a long run, this number would be 7 times 3 is 21 yards plus 10, 31-yard run. So if Chick Jagade gets a long gain, it'd be 31 yards. And then we have a block return number, right? And then we have our player finder. This will tell you who's catching the ball, who's running the ball, who's intercepting it, who's getting the sacks. And then we have an SD number, which I have yet to see come up in a game, but it's usually tied to a long gain. So it'll say something like SD plus 10. So you'd flip this. That guy's long gain would be 5 plus 10. And that's it. And it is that sequence, literally. And the reality is, you could play this almost in any sequence. You could go ahead and snap the ball, look and see what it is, look and see who's doing it, flip to see what the results are, and then look for a fumble or a penalty. There's no reason you have to use the first flip as fumble penalty. You could conclude the snap, then check, was there a penalty on the play? Was there a fumble during this play? That would be, in my opinion, probably even smoother because you're going to finish the fumble, you're going to finish the run if it's a fumble or a pass or whatever anyway, and if it's a penalty, you're going to finish the play anyway. So you could almost check this at the end of the sequence to see if there's a penalty or a fumble, which probably I'll try. I'm already in the rhythm of checking the penalty fumble first, so I doubt I'll be able to break the habit because now in 6 quarters I have got this game engine down, and I'm reading these cards second nature. That's a penalty. It's going to be a run. It's momentum. It's going to be on the offense. 7. It's going to be number 6, and it's going to be 6 on number 6. It's going to be a 3-yard run, and the penalty, which was on us, is going to be 7. 7 on a penalty us run is 5 yards, and they have the option to decline it. It's underlined option to decline it, and of course they're going to take it because we just ran the ball positively. It would be 1st and 12 or whatever, or 1st and 15. It's that smooth, it's that fast, it is that simple, and to be honest, the accuracy is pretty good. Again, the Redskins-Colts, my very first game, Colts won 24-13. Both those teams were 3-9, so it's a good matchup. The Redskins threw 2 interceptions, had a fumble. The Colts, I think, threw 3 interceptions. Or no, the Colts had 2 fumbles. The Redskins threw 3 picks. Doro just unfortunately throwing picks, which is, those were poor teams. These 2 teams, it's a dogfight, right? Both defenses have played a role. We've seen a pick 6. We've seen another interception by Chicago right before the end of the half. Just fantastic. Now again, I'm playing to learn the game. I chose to go with possessions, and I chose to go with 5 per quarter. What I normally do is 4 because I wasn't gonna put the whole game on YouTube. So normally I'll do 4 possession games when I do my YouTube videos, so I can literally share an entire game. Whether it's slightly truncated or not, I don't care. I just want people to be able to see a start, middle, and an end. But when I play alone, I usually do 5 to 6 possessions per quarter. If I'm going to track statistics and do replay, I'm going to tick time. I'm so enamored by this, I will probably do complete replay with statistics, and that means I will be ticking a clock. That's how much I'm enjoying this game. And one of the reasons I don't do stat accumulation is I don't see APBA as a replay game. I don't see it as an authentic, accurate representation. I see it as a head-to-head competitive football game that's remarkably accurate. Stratomatic, same way. I see it as a strategy game that happens to be statistically accurate. I'm looking for solitaire game that's automated, that is authentic with accuracy. And Stratomatic wasn't built for that. Neither was APBA. I know that there are people who have been replaying for decades those games, and hallelujah, good on you. They're not necessarily designed for that, and they are strategy games that require a lot of tweaking and a lot of machinations to make them work in a solitaire way in which they would be accurate. Whether it's me choosing how I call plays, this game, it's built in. It's literally built in, and I love the fact that defense in every single aspect is not ignored. Most impressive about the defense in fast action football is the quarterback's line against them. So yeah, I've got a quarterback down here who's fantastic, Joe Montana. And wow, his numbers are great. Oh, but it came up on the 85 Bears. Oh, wow. The quarterbacks against the Bears. Ooh, ugly for them, right? Their sack percentage is up, their interception percentage. The fact that it might be Montana, but boy, if it shows up over here for the 85 Bears pass defense, it will be unavoidable to see how that Chicago Bears. So if it happens to be a game where the 85 Bears get momentum and keep momentum, they're going to see their defense come up more often against the 49ers. And that's one of the things that I really don't enjoy about Apple is I don't see the defense impacting play on snap to snap. It is abstractly, but you're not thinking about it that way. Here, you're literally going to go, oh damn, we're looking at the 91 Philly pass defense. Oh damn, we're looking at the 2002 Buccaneer pass defense against the best quarterback, Rich Gannon and the Raiders, who led the league. He was the league MVP. But boy, Tampa gets the momentum in that Super Bowl. It starts showing up on the defensive side of the ball. And Rich Gannon, who was the league MVP, was reduced to mush against that Tampa Bay 2002 defense. And damn it, that's important to me. It's absolutely important to me. And this game nails it. So anyway, I would give this a 100% must have if you're a football guy and you want to play serious football at all. If you don't like cards, then of course all bets are off, right? So know that. All right, bye-bye.